This is my normal routine. So it doesn't make sense to take my walker all the way down here, such a long distance, to get what I need and walk all the way back. I have a Toyota Matrix 2006, and I was driving it fine and everything like that. And my legs were doing okay, and I was able to get my right foot over onto the brake, but there was a few times, and it's like, okay, almost didn't get the brakes on time, and there was a couple accidents. So I went to an evaluation place down in Pomona, I believe. And sure enough, they test you on reaction time, speed reaction time from gas pedal to brake, and I was taking too long of a time. Basically because of safety reasons, all right? Don't want any more car accidents. I was evaluated and then recommended to get hand controls. Seatbelts.
92.5, the perfect blend.
So I have a hand control on by my left knee. If I push it, that's the brake. And then if I pull down, lower, that's the gas. And then there's a spinner knob at 2 o'clock that I can actually turn, and it's really easy to turn. This bar right here that I have my hand on is connected to the brake that I'm pushing right now. And then when I pull it down, with the gas. And having a spinner knob is so much easier making turns. Never realized it until I got this. I even have a crossover signal switch that I can flip it with my right hand, and then I can turn left or turn right on the signal. It's learning how to drive all over again. And here we are. Growing up, I played baseball, basketball on the driveway, playing in the street, riding our bikes, going down to the swimming pool. We had a ping pong table, we had croquet. So it's a lot of outdoor activities as best we can, even some golf around. My biggest focus was swimming in high school and then a little bit of college when I transitioned into coaching swimming. When I was actually in California, starting my master's at Cal State Northridge in kinesiology, in exercise science, I started to have numbness and tingliness in my legs. In fact, when I was training on the treadmill, I couldn't stay on it. I would start jogging and I would step off. And Dr. Loy says, "Card, get back on the treadmill." I would do it again, I'd step off. So he said, why don't you go to the medical director and go through some more tests? And that medical director found irregular reflexes, clonus in the bottoms of my feet, which eventually the neurologist who I was referred to did an MRI of the brain, of the cervical cord, and there they found the lesions or spots. That led to basically understanding more that I have multiple sclerosis and how to deal with it. But I've only had issues with my legs, my hips, but nothing with my arms or any type of thing, vision or cognitive wise. Hopefully, it's going to stay where it is. And I never know. And I've had kids ask me this, did you break your leg? What happened? Why are you in the wheelchair? And I tell them I have 2 letters, MS. And that stands for multiple sclerosis. And what does multiple mean? More than one. And I say sclerosis is a really fancy word for scar tissue. And that scar tissue, like if you have a scar on your arm, you see it all the time. But my scar tissue is in my brain and sometime in my spinal cord. And it doesn't make the signal clear or my legs to understand what to do. My brain's telling me to run. But that signal doesn't get there because it's interrupted because of the scar tissue. It's kind of like a different language sometimes. In my situation, my multiple sclerosis, to me, has been with me for so long, but it's progressed slowly that I've made adaptations and modifications all the way through those 36 years. I have to deal with some thresholds here and there, but if I use my walker, it's just get the walker wheels over it first and then hang on and do it. We were able to remodel our hallway bathroom so there's no bathtub, so I don't have to pick a leg up to go over it. That's the big modification we've made here.
So what we did here is take the bathtub out, and there's a bench that he sits on because it would be very tiring and dangerous for him to try to stand. So he has to sit basically to shower.
Yeah, I mean I can, and the thing is, in a bathtub, it's slippery, all right? So the tile we put in is kind of rough. It's not like sandpaper, but there was no handrail, so now I've got handicap bars, safety bars. We had to open the door, still under code, wide enough for my wheelchair to fit into it, and then turn and then be able to get into the shower stall.
If he ever does have to be in a wheelchair in the house full time, we may have to widen some of the other doorways because making these sharp turns would be a difficult thing.
Yeah.
My background is I've worked many years in special education, so people with disabilities were not an unfamiliar thing to me, and it wasn't off-putting. Obviously, Bruce has his different mobility issues, and that leads to a kind of probably different division of how we split up day-to-day activities and just chores that need to be done. Things like going across the street to get the mail and taking the trash cans out. I do those things because I know that it would be physically challenging for him, and I want his life to be no harder than it has to be. So I'm happy to do those kinds of things.
I met Ron one summer at a backyard barbecue. We were invited separately, and I wasn't going to go. I was living in Camarillo at the time and drive all the way down to LA. My kids weren't with me, so I'm just like chilling. But I had a friend in Ventura that was also invited, and he says, I'm going. I don't think I'll go. Yeah, I'm going to come by and pick you up. So if it wasn't for Mark in Ventura, we wouldn't have ever met. Seeing Ron for the first time was kind of like, who is that over there, type of thing. I kind of jokingly refer it to like, I don't know, a little high school thing. Like, okay, is he looking at me?
He was using a cane, but I didn't really even care or think about that. I just thought, wow, he looks like a, nice, good-looking man, and we started chatting. And
driving home, Mark was like, so, you and Ron got along really well today. So, then it's history.
We, I guess you'd say, dated for, a couple years?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years, but I was very sure, getting to know him even just a little bit at first, that he seemed like the right guy. And so after a couple years, I proposed, and we actually ended up getting married in Vancouver, Canada. This was 2005, and at the time it wasn't legal to marry in our country, so that's why we went to Canada. So we have a Canadian marriage license.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago, so we just celebrated our 20th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty special.
Yes.
Welcome and thank you for being here today. My name's Darren Averett, and I've had the privilege and the honor to be the current professor for the Kinesiology 307, known as the Adapted Physical Activity class. As many of you know, this course includes a service learning component to where students have to spend 30 hours working with individuals with special needs. One of the cornerstone experiences of this class is this adapted paddling program, or known as APP. Today we're going to celebrate something truly remarkable, which is a quarter of a century of adaptive paddling program. It's 25 years of impact, growth, and with the community. Since its inception, this program has been run once every quarter, which ends up providing, over the years, over 350 participants, many of whom are experiencing kayaking for the very first time, with a safe, inclusive, and empowering environment on the water. These are more than just service hours. They are moments shared of humanity, growth, and joy. They're life-changing. Beautiful day.
Good morning.
When I moved up here, I started looking for adaptive sporting activities. So I said, okay, Cal Poly's right there. So I got into it more, researched it more. They had this kayaking program. The first day that we meet on the afternoon is at the pool. You find out which kayak you're using. They have to see what kind of modifications need to be done.
That's for the comfort of your knees. Yep. So we're just going to rock back and forth for a while.
Yeah, I know.
So do we want what I want to do is support your knees from underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down
Okay.
underneath.
Right.
It's actually too small because it's not high enough.
One of the biggest draws is being a PE kinesiology student myself and a teacher. I enjoy working with the college students so they can learn from me. They get the experience of working with somebody with a disability, regardless if it's physical or learning.
We've got other foam that we can go this way and we can add. And if the foam goes like that,
Yeah, that's good.
how's that feel? Is that better?
Yeah,
Is
that
it getting there?
separates my legs.
Okay.
Supports them.
Well, that's what I want.
Right.
Okay. And then once we get all of that duct tape as one piece, it'll keep your legs apart, and then the pad will keep it raised so that your legs don't, go this way, and then you end up losing feeling in your toes because your legs are extending, right?
I don't have feeling in my toes anyway. What are you talking about?
Come on. You
I
got
know.
a little feeling in there.
For myself, I need to have foam padding that is going to be between my legs, on my back, so that helps support me. And because I have a, flexibility and strength in my upper arms, I don't need that so much. So it's just trying to find out the best fit for me with my legs getting in the kayak.
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can get this in or not. Oh, money.
Very good.
There it is. How's that?
Good.
Better?
Yes, much better.
Okay. You ready to paddle?
I'm ready to paddle.
All right, let's go.
Then we meet at Morro Bay at 9:30 in the morning. There at Tidelands Park, down by the ramp. And so people gather their things, get ready to go with their outfits on, and get the kayaks ready to go. The neat thing there for me is in the years past, the engineering department at Cal Poly made this trailer that a kayak will sit on, and then they get me tied down into it.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay,
I'll
right
start-
leg,
Okay. I got you.
left leg, go for it. All right.
Okay, so we're going sitting on the back here.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. A transfer bench, like in the bathtub, I'll sit on that, and 2 or 3 assistant instructors will pick me up and then slip my feet in there first and get things adjusted. And then I just get rolled in.
Right. Perfect. You in?
All right, awesome.
Okay.
Yep. This is the easiest way to get in the water.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love you guys doing this all the time. for me.
All right, here you go, Goose.
All right. Perfect.
Good.
Yep. Sweet. Then we go out there and paddle around, wait for the other people to come in and start following the instructions of the volunteer instructor. And we're out there until like noon. So it's like at least 2 hours out in the bay. Go with the flow. All right.
And how does it feel to be out on the water?
Boy, it's like sort of a sense of freedom, doing something that I normally don't do. It's just wonderful to be out there in nature. You're able to see marine life and bird life. It's just really cool. All right, get some exercise. It's just beautiful to be out there on a beautiful day. Dr. Taylor involved different types of activities. Okay, we're going to go here, going to go there and do stuff, but he makes it fun. There's a good number, almost a dozen, let's say, pier poles, just big like telephone poles, in a row, side by side, and he has us do a slalom race. And he made it competitive, so he was going to time everybody in there, and so he was going to go for the world's record.
My money's on you. Yeah. Well, we're right behind you. The world record.
I like sports, like being competitive, so it was like cool. I feel like I was doing skiing. The other things he did, he likes singing Beatles songs. So, you know, I'm not a Beatle maniac, but I know some Beatles songs. So we came up with Yellow Submarine. So then we sing the songs and have a little competition for that too.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Seis Amigos and Yellow Submarine. Ready and go! Nice and loud. In the land where I was born, there lives a man who's out to sea.
He's just so energetic and wants everybody to have a good time. It's very meaningful to me. It's something that I thoroughly enjoy doing. It's something that has been a void, and now I don't have that void.
Some sort of keeper.
I've done it 5 times. I know that answer because he said it last time. Come on.